Hey there traders, back again, and I am going to do another little video on the ICT silver bullet because from my last video there was a few questions based on what I was doing. Some people wanted me to backtest a little bit closer to the time, and some people also were questioning the what I was actually trading. So what I thought I would do in this one, I would try and break it down again. I've kind of simplified it even further, and you can trade this London or New York. So I had a few people asking, about different times. Does it have to be that? You can trade this setup in London as well. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm just going to talk you through the setup again, break down an easier way to trade this, and then basically do a few back tests for you guys so we can actually see it live and in action. So let's have a quick look. Yesterday is a very good example of when not to trade the ICT silver bullet. So you can see this between the two reds over there was basically our session, the New York silver bullet session. But right over here we had, of course, the CPI news, big news, and I actually caught a nice little trade off of that based off of technical analysis only. I had these areas marked up, and I was basically looking at news to break these areas, which it did, and I took a nice little trade to the top side. I could have gone a lot higher. I could have ridden this. Let's have a look. I got about a two risk to reward. If I had ridden this till now, I would be sitting on like a 8. It is what it is. Sometimes you just got to take what's there. But anyway, if you have news coming up at the same time or just before that window, I would suggest not to trade that. So as you can see, we're actually coming right into the silver bullet time right now, which is actually why I wanted to do the video right now, is that we can actually look at it live, and I can talk you through how I look at it. Right, so now as we're coming into this session, I have got my 5-minute. I am on UTC -4, which is New York time, which is very important. Now what I want to do is I want to just, as we're coming into this, mark out some of my highs and my lows. So I've got that as my high over there that I'm looking at breaking, and then I've got, I would say the lows that I'm looking at are somewhere like that and maybe over there. So I'd like to see those get broken. Now we are pushing up quite a lot, and after that news yesterday we've been very bullish. So if we break that, it might be a riskier trade. If we go to the 4-hour, as you can see, very bullish. And these two little smiley faces are live trades that I basically entered on the silver bullet New York session in the last 3 days. Yesterday I didn't, obviously because of the big news, but you can see we've been very bullish, very bullish. So I just want to look further back. If we look at the daily, we've got these highs over there that have been swept, and we are essentially right on this high over there. So if we go back to the 5-minute, where does that line up? That actually lines up right to where we are. So I'm actually happy that push up broke that high. So we've essentially broken that daily high. So we've kind of grabbed liquidity on the daily. Now we've got to be careful on the daily. Liquidity grab could move a lot further than you would expect if you're on a lower time frame like what we are. So I would now like to see that get broken, and because we are hitting that area on the daily as well, it might be worth looking at going for a short, but let's just see how we go. So we're currently sitting at 925. We're not quite there yet. So let me just go in and explain this again, guys. Now remember, this is my variation of the ICT silver bullet, or let's just call it an ICT type setup, okay? I don't want to get myself in trouble saying this is the ICT silver bullet, but it is a variation of it that I have been using. So we've got our I do 9:30 until 11. So it just gives me a little bit more of a window to trade in, and essentially all I'm doing is market can be doing whatever it wants coming up to this area, right? So something like that. We hit that 9:30, and now you can see we've got these nice two tops at there at the top there. We've got nice liquidity at the top there. And in the simplest form, what we're looking for is a liquidity to be taken, right? And then once that happens, we want to see a change of character. Boom, boom, we come back into that area and then we push down. So let me just show you guys quickly everything that's just happened over here, right? So essentially we have that high over there, which gets broken, as you can see. Let me zoom in. Then we have a change of character. What is a change of character? A change of character for me, I like to see so if it's a bullish grab of liquidity on the top side, what I like to see is after that grab of liquidity, I want to see, let me just zoom in. I want to see a high get broken, and straight away, let me just remove this now, so I will keep these clear. So obviously this was our high that was broken, or you can call it liquidity. Let's just put money over there. Can we get money? There we go. I'm blind. All right, so let's put money above there, right? Liquidity. Nice little picture for you guys. This is where the orders are all lying. This is where liquidity is, right? We're sweeping that liquidity, grabbing that, and then the idea is that we'll push in the opposite direction. So let's push forward. So we had that break, then we had a break of this high, followed by a break of the low over here. Now that is a break of structure followed by a break of structure, which for me is a chalk or a change of character. Okay, that right there is a change of character. Now with that change of character, you want to see a fair value gap formed, right? So I'm going to also put that over there, fair value gap, or we'll just do FVG. Okay, FVG forming over here, right? So let's zoom in here, get nice and close to here. Right, so we're just zooming into what has happened here, right? An FVG, and let's just take this again. All right, so that's our FVG. And how is an FVG formed? So we have the green at the top. It doesn't really matter what these wicks look like, okay? And then essentially what we're gonna have is we're gonna have the change of character, which is the push down in the opposite direction. So we will have, after that, we will then have, let's say something like this. And then what we have is we have another candle, the next candle, let's say the next candle is something like this. So we have that, and then we have the wick pushing up, but not all the way. So now you can see where the bottom of this wick is. You've got body, and then you've got the top of this wick. So this space between the two, that right there is an FVG, guys. That's the FVG you're looking for, okay? So that's the setup or the push down you're looking for. And I like to see a strong push down, guys. I really like to see a strong push down. So, you know, if this was a very small candle here, tiny FVG, I might not take it. I like to see a very impulsive push down, and then I'm interested in it. So that's essentially, let me just, this over here is that, okay? So I'm gonna leave that there. Hope that's clear. And then essentially, let me move all of this stuff away. We've got our FVG, and then all you're doing is you are taking your position on that FVG, right? You're gonna do that. You're gonna go to the swing high, or you can go to the first candle that initiated that FVG. You can go to the top of that. I like to go to the swing point, and you don't really want this to be bigger than 10 pips, okay? And then I am basically just playing around with a strategy at the moment where I'm looking for a one-to-one, as simple as that. I'm just looking for a one-to-one, and it's been fairly profitable for me. You can look for a 1 to 1.5, but let's just play around with a 1-to-1 for now, okay? So that right there, guys, I hope that's clear for you guys. You have, let's just go through this again. You have your 9:30, 11, New York time, that's your window you want the setup to happen in, okay? You have liquidity before, you have equal highs or fairly equal highs. You have an area where you can see there's liquidity resting above. Some people might not see that, but generally what ICT says is if you don't see liquidity, then you probably are liquidity. So if you can see the liquidity, that is going to help. So you are basically waiting for that run of liquidity. You're then waiting for that change of character, which is this over here. You then are marking up the FVG, and then you are putting your limit order on that FVG 1-to-1. Simple as that, right? I hope that is clear, guys. I mean, I can't really draw it much more clear than that. If you guys want to take a little snapshot of that, I hope that helps. That is as clear as I could possibly do it. Now, yes, I'm going to probably get people that are telling me this is not 100% ICT. And maybe it's not. I think, to be honest, the only person that can 100% trade ICT is probably ICT himself. But this is my variation on that. Or it's not even a variation. This is how I see it, okay? I see ICTs. Oh, never mind. Anyway, this is how I see it. I think this is easy to follow because it is quite methodical. You just got to follow the rules, stick to the risk reward. Now, if you want to try 1-2, 1.5, or you want to try 1-2, backtest it first, guys. Make sure you backtest it first, okay? So with that being said, let's just close that. Let's zoom out and all right, so here we go, guys. As you can see, I'm going to delete this one. We are coming very close, and now we've actually created an equal high. So there's definitely a chance that we want that to break. I'm hoping this forms a setup now before we can actually trade. If not, we are going to go to the backtesting replay tool that I use, which is very good. And we're going to do a little bit of backtesting. So as you can see now, guys, we're going to break this. I'm going to keep coming back to this throughout the video, guys, and hopefully we will get a trade kind of playing out live, because I can't really do much more than that, explaining it how I did and potentially having a live trade play out. Now, bearing in mind, I did say that we are very bullish at the moment on the Euro USD. So we are getting a setup that's breaking the highs. It's taking liquidity high, so we will be looking for sells. So we are kind of going against the grain. One of the things about this strategy is they do say you don't need a bias. I think if you can tell what your general daily bias is, it does help. Now, our daily bias obviously is bullish, and we are potentially going to take a setup against that. But this is when I'm doing the video, and this is when the setup's happening. If we end up losing the trade, that happens, right? You're going to lose some. You're not going to win them all, guys. Right, so what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to pop over to my FX replay tool. So first thing you want to do for New York session is you want to do your UTC -4. Okay, we are in that now. And then we are going to the 9:30. Okay, so we're just going to go to next session. I am on the 1 minute. That's going to take a while. All right, I've got a few in place there. I'm just going to remove everything from the last. So this is ICT London, so it's fine. We'll just trade a few on the New York session. We're on GBP USD. I've not tried that before, so let's give that a go. We are going to go to next session, and we are going to go to next session. All right, so we are looking for 9:30, which is over there, and we are trading until 11. Okay, so let's play this through, guys, exactly like we did before. Let's just move this there. Let's get this all the way to that point right over there. Okay, so what do we see right here, guys? Obviously we see there is this area there, which I am marking up, and then I want to see that high get broken over there. You could mark these highs, but to be honest, I don't want to go for those because we are on a lower time frame. So I'm looking at that, because if you were to look at this on the 15-minute, let me just show you, that right there is not really something you want to break, that or that. Okay, so let's go back to the 5. All right, So let's just play this through, see what happens. Do we get a break of the low or the high? Okay, we get none. So if you have no break of anything, you basically just go to the next session. Now, before we go to the next session, I just want to quickly hop over to our live chart. All right, there we go, guys. As you can see, we have had a break of the high. So now what I do is I switch down to the 1 minute, and I can remove this, or at least I'll just clean it up by using this tool. So we're just showing ourselves that that's the break of the high. Okay, so that's where we had our break. Now I can do exactly what I did before, guys. Mark up money over there. So just doing exactly the same. That's our liquidity. And now essentially we're waiting for a change of characters. So for the time being, what I'm doing is I'm going to mark up what we need to be broken. I'm looking at that to get broken. This is where it can get a little bit subjective, guys. And it, you know, it is what it is. You can't really change that because the market is to a large degree subjective. You know, a lot of people see things that other people don't. You're going to have days that everyone will just see the change of character crystal clear. Everyone marks it up and it's very easy to spot. Other days it's not as easy, and some people mark up other places, and then, you know, it's different. So you got to just do the best you can to mark up what you think is the change of character. Now for me, what I like to look at is a candle. So for now, the change of character is obviously we're looking for a break on the lower side, right? So we need a candle with a low in between the two. So you can see this candle, that candle, and that candle. Let me zoom in here. Let me just draw a box around the candles I'm looking at. I'm looking at these three candles right here, guys. You can see we have a clear low between the three, right? So that's my area that I'm looking at getting broken. Okay, so we'll come back to this. We'll see if we break this and if we have an impulsive move. Remember, guys, important impulsive move. I'm hoping something sets up here live for you guys. That'll be really cool. We look like we are having some kind of move there. Right, so let's go back to this. We'll go to the next session. We want to go to the next New York, which will be over here, 9:30 and 11. Okay, guys, there we go. Let's play this through. Just get to that point. I'm going to still keep an eye. I'm going to jump backwards and forwards, guys, because we've got a potential live trade there setting up, which will be really cool. So now we're looking at that getting broken or that getting broken, which is kind of similar to what we have right now, actually. So let's see what happens. Clear break, exactly what's happened. This is actually kind of what's happening in our live trade now. So this is really cool. Not even planned, guys. Not planned. It's all just happening. Lovely. So let's see how this one turns out, and then we'll see how the live one turns out. Okay, so we have the break, we switch to the 1 minute, and like I said, this over here will be what we want to get broken. If we break that high, which we just have, then our low that we're looking at getting broken moves up to there. Okay, so we are following this. Now we have had a new high created, so that's now our new low. Okay, so we have got now, so essentially we need this high to be broken. So this is where it gets a little bit subjective, guys. So you could potentially have looked at, like I said, you have the three candles. This is the lower, so you could look at this as on a very small time frame. You could look at this as being a high, a low, followed by a high. So we have that market structure, and then we have this little break right here, and this right here is our FVG. So you can take this as a break of structure. Some people will still look at this, maybe even this as their break. They want that to be broken first. So let's look at both. So we could look at entering this. So let's go with a short. So we should actually already be in this trade, guys. Now I am going to look at going right to the top. That's only 84. So I'm, like I said, if it's, as long as it's not over 10, then I'm happy to take that trade, and we're looking for a 1-to-1, right? So we can actually place this order. 1%. Let's pop that in and let's see how this goes. All right, there we go. Perfect, guys. We got our first win. So that, let me just remove this because that is there. So there we go, guys. A very simple win. You can see that played out. Now, you know, you could have been looking at that, which now you would be looking at going back. But now that FVG has actually been filled. So there's nothing there apart from this one right here. So I think we took the right one. But like I said, it is a little bit subjective. So with that being said, let's quickly pop back over and see our live trade. Maybe. All right, so what have we got now, guys? We've got push up, come back down. We have now got this. As long as this stays higher, this is now our because if you can look at a candle to candle, guys, you can see that we've got from there to there, and it could be going down and then up. So we could have a break there. Let me just remove this, guys. So as long as this candle closes there, this is then the low that I'm looking at getting broken. Okay, so let's see what plays out here. I'll leave it. I'll come back because this might take some time to play out. So that one played out. I'm just going to remove these lines. Very simple. You just got to keep it simple, guys. Don't get too complicated. Next session. The only problem about this, guys, is I'm trading this when I can't really see if there is I'm on the 1 minute, so let me go to the 5 minute. I can't see if there's any news. Now, if there, like I said, if there was big news, I would not trade. But obviously I don't see it, so I'm just trading nevertheless. Sometimes you can tell that it's news that's causing a certain move. But let's just mark up our zone, our area of interest, our kill zone, whatever you want to call it, our window, and let's just play this through. Okay, so we are pushing up quite a lot. Now, when you have something like this and you have nothing else to break, what I like to do is I'll go over to the hour chart and I'll have a look, where is the next area that we want to break. Now we have just broken this over there, so we could now look at that as a sweep of liquidity on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, we're looking at way up here, so I don't think we're going to be going there right now. All right, so let's go back to the 5 minute quickly. All right, so you could also potentially look at these two there, and we have had a break of that, and we've had this push past. So let's say we are now looking for that change of character. This is like, sometimes it is a little bit. So now look, if you go to the 1 minute, you can see it's clear on the 1 minute that this happened before that 9:30. So let's then call this as our break or our sweep of liquidity. And now we're looking for a break or a change of character. Okay, so let's just see what happens. Okay, so this now over here is what I'm looking at getting broken. So let's see what happens here. It's not impulsive, so this is still going to be the area I'm looking at getting broken. Now I'm looking at that. Now I'm looking at that. So I want an impulse break to the downside, guys. So I'm just keep on moving my area that I want to get broken. The low that I'm looking at getting broken. This is now what I'm looking at getting broken. This keeps moving. And if this keeps moving, so technically speaking, we still don't really have that. And this is the 4 hour high. So, you know, I'm a bit thingy to trade this just because we haven't hit that 4 hour, but we're so close to it. Yeah, I'm not going to take a trade there, guys. So we go to the next day. Unfortunately, I paused the video to pop out because I had someone knocking on the door. Came back, carried on with the video, filmed like another 30 minutes or so, and realized that it was on pause. Started again, videoed it again, and then for some reason it did not save. So I had to restart the computer, get back on. So I'm going to just continue from where I was. I took 2 extra trades. You guys saw 2. Both of them were both wins. The last one you can see here, we had a push up. We broke the high there. We took liquidity there, and we had a exactly what I was talking about, that structure. Down, up, break, and we had a perfect FVG, and we got our 1-to-1. Would not have hit any more than a 1-to-1, but it is what it is, guys. That's why I like taking the 1-to-1. But what I'm even more annoyed about, guys, this live trade played out perfectly, man. Oh, it's so frustrating. So let me just show you guys what happened. I think you guys were watching up until where we marked out this low over here. Then we had a push up. We essentially were following this up. We marked this up. We had another push up. Sorry, let me change that. Another push up, and I marked that. Like I said to you guys, I mark up those lows based on a... Let me just mark that up clearly. 3 candles with this having a lower wick than the ones on either side of them. That's my low. We broke that perfectly. We had the second candle, which created our FVG, put in my order, and it came back for the very next candle, as you can see. Now, if you weren't using that and you stuck to this, it would have played out as well. Now, we had a very small break. If you had used that as your break, you would have had this FVG over there, because the top one would have already been filled. So this would be the only FVG. So you would have either taken this as an FVG, or you could have used the fib tool like that, in which case I think you would not have been tapped in. Okay, so that might have missed your order, would have been close, but I might have missed you. If you took this one, let me just move this to the side. So that's the fib there. This one I can move to there because we hit the 1-to-1. This one would have tapped us in over here. Our stop would have been up there, which would have been 50, a 5 pip stop, which is good, and we would have hit our 1-to-1, no problem. So either of those would have yielded a win for us. Just so frustrated, guys, because, you know, I was hoping we had that. I thought we did. Played out perfectly live. As you can see, guys, everything played out perfectly. We had the push above, we took liquidity there, we had the change of character, we had the FVG formed, we had a tap in, push down. I mean, that is as good a setup as you'd like to see, and missed it. Anyway, that's that. Let me just, because we have missed those other two, let me just do a couple, maybe one more back test. So at the moment we're sitting on a 4 for 4% increase after 4 trades, which is very good. I mean, I'll take that all day long. Let me just switch to the 5-minute quickly. So let's just do one more, guys. One more trade. Next session, where are we? Wednesday, so we'll be going to Thursday. Go to next session and go to next session. Okay, so mark these up, 9:30 and 11, and let's just see what happens over here, guys. Now one thing I want to say, guys, I don't know if I've already said it. If I did, I apologize, because I can't remember what I said before I paused it. The thing I love about this FX replay is you cannot rewind. Once you've printed a candle, that's it, you don't go back. So it's very hard to cheat on this, and this is what I love about it. It means your results are a little bit more realistic to the real market. Let's just go there. Okay, so we have broken that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to actually just go to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour we have this over there, so let's go back to the 5-minute and let's switch to the 1 minute, because I just want to see what's happened on the 1 minute. Okay, so on the 1 minute we've got this high over there. We want that to be broken, so let's see if we can break all of those. Okay, yes, we've broken all of those. That really makes me happy, because I feel like I'm not missing anything to the left there. So now we essentially are just looking for the break of structure or the change of character. Okay, so let's just follow price, see what it does. Now essentially this right here is our new area that I'm looking at breaking. Strong push up. This now will be the new area that I'm looking at breaking. Potentially even this now. Now this, you just follow, keep following it. gonna get, okay, there we go. We have a little sweep of that low, guys. Now it's only one candle, which is not ideal. This is not the perfect setup. I would rather see 2 or 3 red candles. Nevertheless, this is 60 pips. Let's do the 1-to-1. Now these are one of those setups not ideal because it's not an extremely strong break to the downside, but we'll take it anyway. We've got 4 from 4 so far. Let's see what happens here. Okay, that was a little bit all over the place, but we got there in the end. I mean, it was floating around in drawdown for longer than I would like, but we did get the 1-to-1, guys. That is 5 from 5 on the GBP USD with this little session. So let's have a quick look. Would this have gone down and potentially hit? Yeah, so we would have got 1-to-1 and then it would have pushed up. This is why I like the 1-to-1, because when I was testing other risk reward ratios, I wasn't getting such great results, but with the 1-to-1 the results have been amazing. Slower, it's a little bit slower, but you know, it's steady. That's what I like, you know. Slow and steady wins the race. So that's that, guys. I'm not going to push too much further than that. We've got 5 trades. Let me just go back to the dashboard. And I've just got to change this because we didn't do ICT London. So let me just edit this one so I'm not confused when I come back. This is ICT NY. Okay, so let me save that and then wait till that changes. Okay, so have a look at these analytics, guys. Win rate 100%, 5 trades, 5 wins. You can't really ask for much more than that, can you, guys? So there was a few days that we got no trades, but overall fantastic little session. And you know, I literally just picked that just before I came in to do this video, and you know, that's how it went. So nice little session. Let me go back to the live market here. So that one also played out perfectly, guys. Unfortunately, you know, it didn't. I didn't get to show you guys it live, but that's how it played out. Let me just go back up to this. So that is the basic little description or little drawing I did of my setup. If you guys want to take a screenshot of that, please do. Move that out the way for you guys. That's it, guys. As simple as that. You wait for that liquidity to be grabbed, you wait for a change of character, mark up a fair value gap, and then take your trade 1-to-1. That's how I traded. Feel free to try different risk reward ratios. Let me know how that goes. Make sure you test this out on a demo, back test it first. Don't just go straight into a live market, please, guys, because this is just educational. I'm just doing this for educational purposes. I'm not giving you financial advice. So please be very careful when trading with real money, because you know, when you lose real money, it does hurt. So yeah, that's the setup, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't for more of this content where I am doing, you know, strategies. I'll do some videos on psychology. And if you guys have any strategies you want me to try, back test, get some numbers, I'll be happy to. So just let me know what you want me to test, and I will do that. With that being said, guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed it. And all that I have left to say is happy trading.